Now, I want to take you to that slogan that I saw, which to me is very important. It was just above one of your presentations. It read like this: Subang Semarak Harapan. And I was asking my girls, because my BM is not very good. The only 3 words I know in BM at that time, those days when I sat for my exam, was "Wala bagaimanapun." And I learned that from the first author of my title, Vadis Malaysia. But anyway, having said that, and Semarak is a beautiful word because it means resplendence. Dazzle me, Michelle, dazzle me. And as if the Subang whole locality, that whole dun, is asking you, dazzle me. Make me, glorify me, make me shine, make me bright, because that's where hope lives.
Yeah.
Hope takes residence where there is resplendence, you see. And I've said this many times in all my discussions with people and all that. Hope is a currency of the future in the present. You are now sitting with me and using that same currency, talking about hope. That is what is keeping you alive. You don't wait, you're not living in the future, but you hope for something. That's the currency. But Michelle, as a politician, there's also blind hope. And blind hope is willful ignorance of our past. What is hope to you?
Can I just say this? You would think that going into it the second time, that is easier. After the announcement on Monday that I'll be running again in Subang Jaya, I actually shed tears and I was shaking because I realized the responsibility after going through one term of how heavy and important it is. And I hold it in the highest regard. And more so, like what you said, when that responsibility is to build a future for people. And that's how, in fact, I mean, it's so timely that we're talking about this. It's how I've spoken to my team and how we want to start our campaign as well, by looking forward and building and painting that dream for Malaysia. If you talk about hope, to me, hope is a place for Malaysia where people around us look upon, where people around us who want to come and say that, well, Malaysia is a place where I can truly thrive. And people want to come home and contribute and call this their home. I want us to do away with conversations of, oh, Malaysia is not good enough. Oh, it's always conversations of pity. Oh, Malaysia, it's badly run. Oh, Malaysia is corrupt, right? So I want to lay that foundation. And why do I say lay that foundation, Dr. Charles? Because I'm practical and I feel that it would take time for us to reach that destiny that I painted, right? It's not going to happen overnight. Lay that foundation so that future generations can be inspired and build upon it. And they too would carry that hope and move that country forward. That hope doesn't just happen, Dr. Charles. I don't believe that. That hope is built, that hope is carried, and that hope has to be spread, right? Insofar as Selangor is concerned, I hope that the people can see year on year how we have moved on and developed that hope. And the history is this, Dr. Charles. We talk about hope, we must talk about progress. Yeah. If you don't see progress, there is no hope. In Selangor in 2008, we laid that foundation with institutional reform. We made the head of the PAC, Public Accounts Committee, the head of the opposition. Previously, you wouldn't have that. You would have your own backbencher heading the Accounts Committee, and there was no check and balance. We put that in place. We separated the roles of councillors and state assemblymen, so there's check and balance. We put our proceedings online so that the public can see. We made sure that we have a select committee. We made sure that people have access to those avenues so that good governance can finally take place in Selangor. And when that happened, I can send you many charts of how the economic index whether you talk about our state reserves, whether you talk about FDI, Selangor has been on an upward trend. And you see that wealth coming back to the people because we're plugging all the leakages. Going into the third term, all the legacy problems that previously we didn't deal with had to be dealt with now. And how you see that wealth come true is ironically through COVID. Selangor is the only state that was able to do free screening for its people. And you remember that time as a doctor, you would know the cost of it was extremely high for its people for free. We were able to buy vaccines. Only 2 states were able to do that, Johor and Selangor, because we had that reserve and the wealth was returning to the people. Now, we are going around telling people has built the foundation for the federal government to mirror. And you will see that if we are here long enough with the federal government, that hope being built as well.
Yeah.
So what we have done here is laying the foundation with the federal government. This first term, I tell you, is where we will be doing the same thing of doing institutional reforms, making sure that the structure and the bones of this country is well placed so that the muscle can finally be built on it.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Charles Lee. Before this episode starts, I have a small favor to ask from you. Many visit and watch the videos and they find it very informative, they get excited. Some of them write to me on my email, but they don't subscribe. So would you do me a small favor? Would you just press that subscribe button? It'll be so good for all of us. Certainly it helps the channel grow. It adds a little bit of vitality to the channel. At the same time, the numbers get bigger and my heart gets bigger too. So just to know that you're with me, you enjoy the company and I enjoy your company, you won't believe it. So please subscribe, press that button. I want to hear those bells jingle. And most of all, stay tuned and I love your company. We'll talk again.